One of the reporters recently asked me, they said, Mr. Trump, let me ask you, if you win the presidency, sir, will you be staying in your beautiful new hotel or the White House? I said, I'll take the White House. I want to just talk just for a second about New York values, because it's become a big, big subject. And I wrote a few things down, but it's just one of those things. I said, I talked tonight about New York values that we all, many of us, that we all know so well. The values that make us love this state, which has been a symbol of American strength throughout the world. No matter where you go, they love New York. You can be from lots of other places, and if you want to see somebody, you just say, when are you coming to New York? They always come. Everybody comes to New York eventually. There's nothing like it. So when we talk about values, what do we see in New York values? We see our really, really incredible, when you look at September 11th especially, New York police and New York firefighters. Incredible. We see our unbelievable, and they keep those trains going and those buses and everything else, but we see our transit workers, and what they went through on September 11th was incredible. We see families playing in Central Park. Thousands and thousands of families with their children. Some without children. Some together. Some not together. But we see people in Central Park and people playing in Central Park. We see restaurant workers all over the city, in delis, and factory workers in upstate New York. Unfortunately, I've spent a lot of time in upstate New York, and those factory workers are rapidly leaving our state. And we can't let that happen. And we have a whole fabric of our community. So what are New York values? Because, people are disputing. I'm not disputing, and the New Yorkers aren't disputing. And most people that know New York and have watched what we've done, when you look at what happened with September 11th, the job that this city has done and the people of this city have done is beyond what anyone's ever seen. And you say, what are New York values? Number one, honesty and straight talking. Honesty, you better believe it. It's a work ethic. Hard-working people. It's about family. New York, believe it, is about family. So important. It's the energy to get things done. Big energy. If Jeb Bush came here, I'm telling you, he'd have much more energy than he has right now. Tell him, he should move to New York, right? We're builders. We make things happen. It's so important. We make things happen. And it's courage and community service, because there's tremendous community service. New York values were on display for all to see in the aftermath of 9/11, a strike at the heart of our city and our nation. In our darkest moments, as a city, we showed the world the very, very best in terms of bravery and heart and soul that we have in America. The firefighters and first responders and the police officers and the Port Authority workers who ran up those stairs, those are New York values, and those are New Yorker values. I'm not sure, is she serious or what? Father Michael Judge, chaplain to the New York City Fire Department, who died, and an amazing guy who I knew a little bit, who a lot of people knew very well, who Rudy Giuliani really knew very well. But you look at Father Judge, and I'll tell you what, that was some guy, and he ran up there to pray, and he knew what was going to happen, and he died. And he died praying and taking care of people, and he was an amazing guy. The people in the towers who helped rescue each other, those are those of New York values. The restaurants and local businesses who kept their shops open to help everybody during this incredible time, those are New York values. Everyone who helped clear the rubble and the rescue, the injured, those are New York values. Every small act of kindness, Every great act of courage, of which there were so many, there's never been anything like this. This was the greatest attack and the worst and most horrific attack in the history of our country. Far greater than Pearl Harbor, because the attack was on civilians. It wasn't on the military. It was on civilians. But those are New York values. And these are the values that we need to make America great again. We need these values to bring America together again and to heal America's wounds again. So I just want to tell you that I am so proud to be with you tonight. I am so proud to be discussing all sorts of topics, but most importantly, New York values. Because no matter where you go, anywhere in the world, they talk in the most positive tones about what all of us have done. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great dinner. We're going to have an amazing election coming up. We're having some really great primaries. It's been a lot of fun for me. You know, it wasn't supposed to be this way. A lot of people said, well, what do you know? I've been dealing with politicians all my life, so I think I know something. But it's been a great, great experience. I'm right now millions of votes ahead of my closest rival. Millions of votes. You know, people don't talk about votes anymore. They talk delegates. By the way, I happen to be hundreds of delegates ahead, too. But I'm, you know, to me, so important. I'm millions of votes ahead of my next nearest rival. And we have, thank you, darling, millions of votes. We have 22 states, and it started, by the way, with New Hampshire. We went down to South Carolina, states that I wasn't supposed to win, and I ended up winning in a landslide. Alabama, Arkansas, Kentucky, the South. I may move to the South if New York doesn't treat us well, because I'll tell you, the South has been so great to me. And then we went to Florida, where, you know, it's my second home. This is my first home. It's my second home. And we did so unbelievably, won in a landslide by 20 points. And it was an absolute landslide. And now we have something happening that's going to be very exciting. The next 4 or 5 weeks are going to be very exciting. And we start, we'll bring it home. Thank you. Thank you, man. And we start on Tuesday. So big. And you know, the interesting thing is, with all the primaries that we've been through, years and years and years of primary, sort of either over or not very important by the time they get to New York, right? New York is so important. It's so important. Like New York should be so important. And I see what's happening, and I see the polls coming in, and I'm so honored, because the people that know me best are the people from New York. They're the ones that really know me. So when I'm up 42 points, I said, 42 points, that's a lot, but when I'm up 42 and 44 points in the newest polls, that's such an honor, because those are the people that know me best. So I think we're going to have a really exciting next 4 or 5 weeks. I think we're going to have a great time in Cleveland, hopefully not too good a time, because by that time, it should be solved by the time we get there, okay? And enjoy the hotel, enjoy this great, great city, and it's an honor to be with you tonight. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, so if you want to see this full Donald Trump speech from the GOP dinner last night in New York, it's available at the Alternate Mox News YouTube page, of which there is a clickable link in the text body of the video. Generally, I would have put this video on the C-SPAN page, but the C-SPAN Junkie page, C-SPAN Junkie Alternate Mox News YouTube page. But I went to sign into that page to upload the video, and there was a copyright violation waiting for me of a somewhere around a 5-year-old debate. It might be a little older than that, 6 years old, between Christopher Hitchens and Tony Blair. in which they're debating religion and whether it's actually good for humanity or bad for humanity if you look at it throughout history. And I thought it's actually a really important debate, and kind of really important debate. I thought it was really, really important. I thought Christopher Hitchens clearly owned Tony Blair during the debate, and that that it's really sad that the people at the Munk debates feel that they have to somehow own that little bit of knowledge, that it can't be shared freely by the people, among the people, for the people. You know, I don't commercialize these videos, and I'm just trying to share knowledge, little bits of knowledge with those people that are seeking knowledge. And people like this, you know, they say, no, you're keeping us from making an extra shiny penny off of our video. And you know, actually I'm not, because if people like the Munk debate video, and I have one of them posted on my page, they go, you know what, I'd like to see more of those people's work, and they'll come to find more of your videos on your page, maybe even come to your website if you didn't have your head so far up your asses. Anyways, this is the pain of what it is I do. You know, I mean, they jeopardize an archive with millions of views and thousands of videos that's just there to share knowledge with people. It's only C-SPAN videos, only C-SPAN videos. The Munk debate was broadcasted on C-SPAN. There was one last week, a new one that I was going to post, and now I'm really glad I didn't post that, because these people are, you know, I don't know, gatekeepers or whatever. They own this knowledge. It belongs to them. You have to go through them in order to get that knowledge. Real nice, you guys. Anyways, I just wanted you to know that's what's going on with me. There's an alternate Mox News YouTube page with this. It has last night's Democratic debate between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, which was very good. If you didn't see it yet, it's posted over on the alternate Mox News YouTube page, of which there is a clickable link in the text body of this video. Right below the video on the YouTube video page, it's a little box and it says alternate Mox News YouTube page. Click here. It will be a good page to subscribe to, considering the copyright issues that we're having at the moment. So thank you very much for your continued support and understanding, and know that you know, I'm fighting the good fight, you guys. I'm going to go contact these people at the Munk debates and see if they can, like, lighten up and just take the copyright strike off, and I'll delete that video off my page. It's not a problem. They don't have to jeopardize the work or, like, keep me from being able to cover the upcoming Democratic and Republican national conventions properly. That's some bullshit. Anyways, stay cool. One of these days this war is going to end. Till that day.
Compassion stirred the Buddha to send his monks out into the community. Sworn to chastity and poverty, they wandered the roads, bringing the Buddha's teachings into the world. Go forth, monks, for the happiness of the many, out of compassion for the world. There are beings whose eyes have little dust on them, who will perish if they do not hear the teaching. But if they hear the teaching, they will gain liberation.
The monks exist by begging. We think of begging as kind of a bad thing. Begging in this tradition is a good thing. It's a sign of spiritual purity.
You're not allowed to beg tomorrow's lunch today. Only today's lunch. Then you can't eat from noon until dawn the next day. Then you have to go out and get another lunch. And then in exchange for lunch, you give a lecture. Unless they say we don't want to hear about it, then you don't. But that's the only thing but that forces you to interact with the lay community.
And if you're not serving them, if you're not doing something useful for them, they won't put anything in your bowl, and that will be the end of your community.